Free-to-play moneymakers are absolutely terrible, mainly because bots farm every single one of them. The Wiki says 400k per hour is the best method, but I've already shown that you can make up to 2.5 million per hour, and I have another method for you today that is over 1 million GP per hour. This does not include the time it takes to buy the items, as that can be done whilst you're offline. It can be done on a free-to-play world and has no requirements whatsoever, but it is slightly easier and faster to do it as a member. The beauty about this method is it can be done with so many different items, bots can't possibly take them all. The key to it is utilising one of the many sites that tell you how much money you can make through high-alking, even though we won't be high-alking ourselves. You can use any of the sites as long as they are safe, but the one I use is alchemate.com. The standard table is in order of the column highlighted in green, which is the profit margin when alking, but if you click on the buy column on the left hand side, it will sort the items out into the GE price. As you can see, the buy price on the cheapest items are a fraction of the high alch value, but you wouldn't make a profit high alking because of the cost of the runes. However, we can cash in a completely different way. There are 3 ways to sell these items to shops that pay you high alchemy price, 2 that pay you just under, and you can even make money on some items just in a normal general store. Plus, with the RuneLite option to sell 50 items per click in a shop, which I will show you how to do later, and the ability to world hop pressing just one button, it opens up a fantastic moneymaker. The first shop that pays high alchemy prices for items is Martin Thwaite in the Rogue's Den in Berthorpe, which is effectively a general store, so he buys any item at all. However, this is pay to play. The second shop is the Bandit Duty Free, which is at the Bandit Camp in the Wilderness, which is available on free-to-play or members worlds. Although I've been at this shop for many hours in previous videos and never seen a PKer, until Jagex fixed the auto teleblock that some PKs are abusing at the moment, meaning that you can't teleport away fast enough, I personally wouldn't risk it as you can get PK'd there. Finally, the third way is to sell to a specialist shop. For example, if you purchase plate bodies, a plate body shop will pay you the high alch price, or if you buy arrows, an archery shop will pay you high alchemy too. Paul of Niche and West Ardun general stores will also pay just under high alch prices, whilst every other general store pays you the low alch price. So there are 3 methods that you can do to make money here. Which one is best for you really depends on your playstyle. The first one is for people that want easy money a couple of times a week. It can be done in any general store whatsoever and requires that you understand the lowest price a shop will ever pay you for an item, no matter how much stock of it has. Every time a shop has more stock of an item than it usually has, the price it pays goes down by 3% for every single one it is overstocked by. For example, a shop which stocks 10 of an item will pay you 3% less when it has 11 of that item in stock, 6% less when it has 12, 9% less when it has 13, and so on. But the price the shop pays can never go below 10% of what the item's true value is, and it will then stay at that price. So if you search any item on the wiki, it shows the item's true value here in this section. Shops that buy at the high alchemy price start off by paying you 60% of this true value. Other general stores pay 40% of this amount, and no matter what store you are in, the price will never go below 10%. In the case of whiteberry seeds here, the lowest price a shop will ever buy them for is 13 GP, and they are sometimes as low as 2 GP to buy. It doesn't sound a lot, but by using the sell 50 option on RuneLite, that means every time you click your mouse, you make 565 GP, and when you think how many times you can click your mouse per minute, that's how much you make. By far the most important part in all of these methods is selecting the right items. In the grey column is the GE limit, and this tells you the maximum amount you can buy every 4 hours. In the case of whiteberry seeds, even if 1 million were being sold on the GE right now, you could never purchase more than 200 every 4 hours. For this method, the higher the number the better, as you can literally sell hundreds of thousands of any item per hour. You'll notice that when you go on alchemate.com, the cheapest items constantly change. Simply go through the current cheapest items that have a large buy limit every 4 hours, check the wiki to find the true value, and then divide that number by 10 to get the lowest price the shop will buy the item for. That amount minus the price you buy the item for is your profit, and because you sell 50 at a time, you get 50 times that amount every single click. Don't forget to check if you are not a member that the item is a free to play one. For this example, I purchased 7,000 Wipery seeds for 5 GP each, a total of 35,000 GP. To set up RuneLite to sell 50 at a time, you will open Menu Entry Swapper and then select UI Swaps. Then on the shop cell left click, you can select 1, 5, 10 or 50. Once you have selected 50, anytime you now hold down the shift button whilst you have the shop screen open, you will sell 50 at a time. As you can see, this is incredibly rapid, and I only used 7,000 seeds just to showcase this method, and I made 56,858 GP in 26 seconds, which if I actually had the stock would have meant 7.8 million GP per hour. Obviously, buying the stock for this method will take a long time, but it is ideal for someone who can leave a few offers in the GE for a week or so and then make some very fast and easy GP in one go. The next two methods are less money per hour, but you can do them far more frequently and for longer. They are similar to the first method, but using the shops that pay high alchemy prices and only selling some on each world, the price the shops buy the items for is much higher. You want as many different items as possible to maximize profits, and you should set up RuneLite so you can hot worlds quickly. To do this, select Configure on the World Hopper. Then on Quick Hop, next select any key that you want to use to hot worlds. After you have set this up, you can now hot worlds instantly anytime you press this button, apart from the very first time you use it if you have the shop interface open, which I presume is just some sort of bug. In these methods we want to choose items in a similar way to the last, but we're going to sell either 10 or 50 per world. When selecting the items that you want to use, if using the 50 per world method, the average price you get per item is around 19% of the item's true value, and if selling 10 at a time, you get 46% of the item's true value. This opens up the option to buy far more items if you are struggling to buy the cheapest ones, especially just after this video goes out. To test this method, I bought potato cactus seeds at 12 GP each, hard leather bodies at 10 GP each, which is a free to play item, spice at 21 GP each, and maple stock at 10 GP. 3,100 maple stock and 4,000 of the rest cost me 203,000 GP in total to test this method. I sped up the testing of this, which sometimes creates a flashing effect as you hot worlds, so anyone with photosensitive epilepsy, I have timestamped the end of this test run at the bottom so you can bypass this section. I'm going to be selling 50 at a time, which is faster money, but if you sell 10 at a time, although it takes longer, you make more money as you get a higher price overall. In just under 20 minutes I got 564,000 GP minus the cost of the items, which gave me a profit of around 361,000, which is around 1.1 million GP per hour. If I had sold them at 10 at a time instead, I would have made 1.16 million profit, but it would have taken me around 1 hour 40 minutes instead, which would have worked out at around 696,000 GP per hour. The main reason you would consider selling 10 instead of 50 is if you are struggling to buy the items fast enough in the GE However, since this method gets you between 19% and 40% of an item's true value, you aren't limited to the very low items and can choose between hundreds of items. For example, a gold bar when using the 10 per world method sells for an average of 138 GP per bar, but they currently cost 83 GP, which is a profit of 550 GP per 10 you sell. And you can buy 10,000 every 4 hours, there are tons in the game, and they are a free to play item. I hope these methods were easy enough to follow. I do appreciate that they're a little bit more complicated than most methods, but if anyone needs any help with the calculations, just ask me in the comments and I will message you back.
Come on, get that money.